Hi, Shepherd's Pie. Greetings from Vietnam in Saigon City, Ho Chi Minh to the newer generation. And I am sat here today with my good friend Adam Fente, who friends of the channel will know. Adam has been a long time subscriber and yeah, always a feature on the live chats and things. So it was really nice to meet Adam in Ho Chi Minh. He brought me a wonderful goodie bag, which I will add on the end of the video to show you chaps. But yeah, Adam, who's from the good old US of A, has agreed to kindly sit down and do an interview with us. So thank you very much for that, Adam.
Yeah, my pleasure. Good to meet up with you here.
Yeah, it was nice to meet. It's always nice to meet subscribers, particularly when they bring gifts. But, right, so Adam, tell us a little bit about yourself, mate. Where did it all begin? Where are you from?
All right, so born in Los Angeles, California, which is where I'm from, and that's where I was raised. Went to school, university, and pretty much most of my working years, even though my short working years there. Um, yeah, so born and raised in LA all my life, enjoyed my time there. But about 2 to 3 years ago,
Let's rewind a bit because it's
sure,
going to be the quickest interview in the history of the world.
sure, yeah.
Or the history of the channel. What was it like growing up in LA? Do you like LA?
I think at the time I enjoyed it, but I think maybe now after some of the experiences that I've had, I reflect back and think, oh, maybe perspective is always a good educator. But at the time, yeah, I thought it was great. As a kid, I thought, oh, Hollywood is amazing, the beach is awesome, and had friends from all over the world. It's very diverse, and can't beat the weather all year round. So yeah, I think growing up it was pretty good.
I'm going to guess you were living in one of the nicer parts of.
Okay parts, South Central,
yeah.
but
South Central.
yeah, South Central.
Is that not where all the Crips and the Bloods?
Yeah, but you learn to get some thick skins. City's a good.
But I mean, is it as bad as it was made out to be? Because you watch the British films, the American films, and that they certain parts of it like war zones. Is that exaggerated, or was it exaggerated?
The context is, I was born in, for your audience, 1995, so I'm 30. So by the time I'm, a spring chicken, most of the, drama, we'll put it like that, it was more so behind my times, but I would see remnants of that even growing up. You're just seeing like, some of the crime or some of the, less desirable things in the city. You did see, expressions of that, but I think it is on the up and up, and I think Los Angeles is, overall, I think it's a very vibrant and dynamic city. Yeah.
Is it expensive?
Oh yeah. Well, even more so now than ever, but I think I can understand why. Like, you have some of the best weather in the world. Everybody wants to go there, and then you have the legacy Hollywood industry. You're gonna have people going there from all over the world, so it's definitely expensive. And
we went to San Francisco many moons ago with my ex-wife, and they told us then it's the most expensive city in America. I don't know if it was or it still is or not, but San Francisco, Los Angeles on the same kind of.
Oh yeah, I mean, I would say California just has some of the most expensive cities, really? Period, in the U.S. Yeah. I mean, I would even see it at least in LA. Like, you just drive some miles north, and I'm in Beverly Hills, and I'm like, wow, these people are rolling in it, So it's like, yeah, you drive a couple of miles, and you do get some contrast for sure. But I think one thing about LA is I would say it's less of a city and more so of a bunch of neighborhoods adjacent to each other. So it's like you can be in Beverly Hills, but then maybe an hour drive and you're in East LA, which is like Hispanics and not as rich as Beverly Hills, or you drive towards the south and South Central, it's more black area. So you get a lot of contrast depending on which neighborhood you're getting, but the benefit is you get everyone's food.
And that is a good benefit.
Yeah, exactly. Go over there, Little Tokyo, go over there, Filipino town, so it's nice.
So that's what I like about London, the diversity of the
exactly
things. So what did you study? You said you went to university. What did you study there?
Yes, so I did go to Cal State Long Beach, and I studied information systems there. So that's what I got in my degree. Studied IT, and immediately used my degree to work in the IT field. And I've been doing that ever since. And
Do you enjoy it? Are you glad that's what you went into?
I will say this. I think I enjoyed the study more than the application. Uh, in the sense that, you know, I guess as a younger person, I'm still learning about myself. And I do like the IT field and industry, but it is at times cutthroat. Can be stressful depending on like what niche you're doing. And I will say this, like it's a good job, and I think I've learned a lot from it. But especially me being in IT, I see how the world is changing. I wonder how long that job security will be there.
Right.
And I also think, you know, maybe that's just one area of my passions, but I'm starting to get, maybe that interest is still there, but maybe not as much as it was before. So
We're going to go a tiny bit off tangent, but you just said something just then which I hadn't thought of before, because in the Philippines with the call centres, there's always a lot of talk about what AI is going to do to that. Is that going to affect you? You know, you said security. Is that what you're talking about? In terms of
man, AI is going to change the world, and I'm a firm believer in that. So I'm trying to make some pivots and adjustments in my life to be prepared for that as much as I can be. If we're talking the call centers in the Philippines, I wouldn't be surprised if a majority of them are not taken over by AI, maybe in the next 5 years.
Really?
Like potentially that soon. So that's one thing I guess we can talk a little bit more about maybe in a bit, which is the Philippines, because I did get to go to the Philippines. But if we're talking the call centers in the Philippines, yeah, I think that whole industry will be, the whole BPO service industry in the Philippines.
Yeah, but will it affect tech suppliers and the kind of stuff you're doing? Do you think that's going to affect you adversely, or is it going to be positive?
Oh, I think adversely, in the sense of, you know, you can start cutting some heads if you can get one AI, you know, software to do the job of a team of 10 or 20 or 50. You know, it's, if you're the employer, you know, it's going to be a poor business decision to keep the heads. You know, so it's because you gain so much margin by just paying and using the software. So yeah, I think about my own job security as I work in this industry, and I think about the world largely. I think just a lot of things are going to change. So yeah.
So okay, so you qualified, you got your degree, you started working in IT.
Yes.
How long were you working in IT before you decided to hit the road?
Great question. So just under the 5-year mark, which would be up to the point of the beginning of last year. So the beginning of last year, around January of last year, 2024, that's when I started getting this feeling after working in this industry for 5 years, where it's like something feels missing in life for me. And just some context, like I work very hard, I save, and I wasn't the type to go out and have too much fun, because I'm always the type of person where it's, let me have some delayed gratification. Let me do what I need to do now so that way I can enjoy later. So most of my 20s, I just was head down working and grinding. But, you know, by that point, by January of last year, I'm 29 and I'm thinking to myself, like, man, I'm just working and I haven't done anything like notable. And I'm about to turn 30, which I'm 30 now. I'm like, I need to do something. So a couple of events happened in my life, and then I thought to myself, you know, I think it's time for me to switch things up. And a few YouTube vlogs later, I'm doing, the Philippines comes in my feed, and I'm down that rabbit hole. And yeah, by March of 2024, I had sold everything, got rid of the car, the apartment, all my stuff, everything in one suitcase, and I headed over to starting with the Philippines. Yeah.
We just had a little technical difficulty there, but we are back. You'll be pleased to hear. So right, so you decided that you'd had enough. You were going to try and do a bit of a journey. You were going to travel.
Yes.
And you hit the Philippines when?
Late March of 2024, or we can just say April 2024.
April 2024.
Yeah.
Okay. Where did you go first?
Started in Cebu. Started in Cebu.
In the city, in the industrial park area, or
In Cebu City, in IT Park.
IT Park.
IT Park. Yeah. I did a lot of research, and my situation, I thought it made the most sense. IT Park, that's where there's a lot of foreigners, infrastructure, and it was a good starting base for me for my first traveling journey for myself in Cebu City in IT Park.
And how long were you there for?
In IT Park, I stayed 2 months.
Right.
Yeah, 2 months in Cebu City, and by that point, I had gotten a little bit comfortable with Cebu City, but I had this itch to let me go see some more, let me go explore some more. And actually, initially, before I even gone to the Philippines, I had made some online Filipino friends.
Okay.
And I had made a goal that I was going to go visit them wherever they were in the Philippines. And thankfully, the coordination, they were all either in the Central Visayas or in Mindanao. So I had made the journey to go see all of them. So first I started with Cebu City. I had one friend in Argao, Cebu. So my journey was, first I went from Cebu City to Argao. I got to visit that friend. That was a very nice experience. It was more of a quaint, provincial sort of town. Only one 7-Eleven, and that's pretty much it. There's no Jollibee, no McDonald's there. But very lovely town, very simple, and it was very nice getting to meeting them in person. From there, I went to Karkar City, stayed there for a little while. Went to Mualbual for a week. That was awesome. Went to Oslo, and so that basically covers southern Cebu. From there, I went to Dumaguete, and I got to meet up with another friend, which was awesome. She was a local in the Valencia area, so I got to explore Dumaguete with her, got to see the Valencia Sunday market, which was awesome, the Sunday morning event, got to see the twin lakes that are in that area. Beautiful natures, beautiful. Getting to just drive up the mountains on the motorbike, such a lovely experience that was. And I was really charmed by the scenery of southern Negros, so that was a wonderful thing. After Negros, after the Dumaguete Valencia exploration, I headed over to Bohol, did the whole Panglao, Chocolate Hills, got to see Carmen, explored a little bit around Tagbilaran, really nice. And then from there, I got to go to Mindanao. And by the way, as I'm going all these places, the time span is different. It might be 1 week there, a couple nights there, 2 weeks there, depends how I feel. So from there, I went to Mindanao, Cagayan de Oro, spent a good amount of time in Butuan. From there, I went to Surigao, and then that pretty much completed my trip. After Surigao, I went to Cebu City. Oh, actually, I did go back to Butuan one more time after I went to Cebu, and then I left the Philippines after Butuan. And that, everything I just explained to you covers 6 months.
6 months?
Yeah.
And you've said to me before off camera, you wanted to get out before the exit clearance.
Yeah. I didn't want to deal with any bureaucracy, so...
Did anything, obviously you've done quite a lot of research for the vlogs and things, did anything surprise you, disappoint you, amaze you?
Oh, that's a great question. I think, as far as surprises go, I think the nature and the scenery, just the beauty of it, that was really an eye-opening, like, wow, I can't believe, because I'm coming from, LA, and I didn't really go get the opportunity to explore much of Southern California's like nature, scenery, and whatnot. So I'm stuck in a concrete jungle in the city. I did go live in Vegas for a little while, but beyond that, like, never really seen white sand beaches, or the beautiful mountains, or the scenery. I've got to see the Enchanted River in Mindanao, which was amazing. Chocolate Hills, like getting to see that lush green was really an eye-opening, positive, wow, amazing. Another thing that surprised me, maybe less positive, is just culturally how different things are with how things are done in the Philippines versus the US. I will say that travel experience did give me an appreciation for how things are done in the US versus the Philippines, but it's all a matter of perspective. I guess one thing is like, for example, seeing how long the lines were at the supermarkets. I was like, oh my god, that's one of those things. But I think what makes up for it is just like, you know, the cheaper lifestyle compared to the U.S. How friendly the people were and humble. You know, it's two different worlds comparing the U.S. and the Philippines. But I think I learned so much from that contrast. So yeah.
So after the 6 months, where did you go then?
Great question. So actually, my final place in the Philippines was Butuan, Mindanao. I had stayed there for 3 weeks before I left, and during that time, you know, my initial goal when I left the U.S. back in March of last year was I'm going to go check out Philippines, and then I'm going to check out Thailand, and I'm going to see, okay, I want to check out one of these, see where I can make one of these a base for myself as I work remotely. But when I was in Butuan, actually, I met another expat. He was a Brit who had done a lot of travels all around the world, and he insisted that I go Vietnam,
Right.
like above any other country in Southeast Asia, which was, he was very persistent in that, and I thought that was very curious of him. So, but I took his word, and so I made a pivot. Instead of flying to Thailand, I decided, let me go Vietnam, and so that's what I did. As a U.S. citizen, I just apply for the visa online. I get 90 days. I did my little bit of research. So my plan at the time was I'm going to spend a month in Hanoi in the north, a month in the central Da Nang, and then a month in Ho Chi Minh City in the south, which is where we're at now. We're in Ho Chi Minh. And that's what I did. So I left the Philippines and I started with Hanoi, Vietnam, and I stayed there for a month. Yeah.
And was that what you expected it to be? What was it like?
Oh my gosh. What, in my opinion, out of all the places that I've traveled to, probably the most charming city in Southeast Asia. That's just my opinion. Hanoi.
Yeah. I've heard a lot of people say that. I've heard nothing but good things.
I hope you can visit it soon. And don't get me wrong, I do love Ho Chi Minh City. You know, Ho Chi Minh City is the economic capital of Vietnam, but Hanoi is the political capital, the official political capital of Vietnam. So when I went there, you get to see the ancient, you know, you get to see remnants of like of course, the French influenced culture in Vietnam. But once you go travel the surrounding areas in Hanoi, there's Ninh Binh and Ha Long Bay and Sapa. These are like some tourist places in the north. But just seeing the rice fields, it was just so beautiful. You get to see the ancient, like Chinese influence culture of on the Vietnamese, and I don't know. It's just such a charming city. It's very hard to describe, and specifically in the Old Quarter in Hanoi, which is like there's this area called the West Lake. It's a huge lake where like all the festivities happen around it during the evenings and on the weekends. And I don't know. It left a great impression on me. Going to Vietnam for the first time, it's very different than the Philippines, but I will say, I like to say that Vietnam feels very Asian compared to the Philippines, which feels very Western. So I feel very familiar and comfortable when I'm in the Philippines, but when I'm in Vietnam, like if you want to get an Asian experience, like go to Vietnam. You're going to use chopsticks. Yeah.
So you came here, you fell in love with Hanoi. Then what do you think of Da Nang compared to?
Great question. So I'm always a type of person where I never commit right away. I always like to explore my options. So I always go in with the intent of I'm gonna go check it out, see how I feel. So I went to Hanoi, enjoyed my time, flew to Da Nang. Wow, very different. It's such a chill beach city. And the My An area, which is like the foreigner area, right by the beach, like it's such an accommodating place for me as a foreigner, and it's very different than Hanoi, because Hanoi population I think is like a 9 million, and I think Da Nang is around 1 million. So it's very different. The people in Da Nang, they're beach people, so they're chilled out. It's not as like a hustle and bustle of a big city here like Ho Chi Minh or Hanoi.
See, I had no idea Ho Chi Minh was so big. Hanoi was 9 million. What's Ho Chi Minh? Do you know?
I think it's also around 9 or 10.
So they're both big.
Yeah, they're both big. But Da Nang is definitely not. So what I will say is this, because I always, whenever I go to a place, I always do ask some questions to myself. Could I live here? What's the cost of living? What is the lifestyle like? What is the vibe? In my opinion, Hanoi is and this is just me as a digital nomad, expat, foreigner. Hanoi is a great place to visit, for me.
Yeah.
But I couldn't see myself living there.
Right.
One, because the number one reason it actually is the pollution, the smog, the air pollution. There's times when it's the worst in Southeast Asia.
Wow.
So that's just something, of course, you'll do your research before you go. Make sure you're avoiding
And that's from scooters, it's not from the burning.
That is correct. Yeah, that is for motorbikes. 9 million people. So how many registered motorbikes? Plus 50%, I don't know. So yeah, the air pollution. And of course, me being a foreigner, there's some places where, this is just an observation that I've had as I've traveled. There's some places where you're kind of always going to be treated as, by default, you're going to be treated as a foreign tourist. So the classification of a tourist is going to be different than the classification of a resident, right?
Yeah.
So whenever I'm in Hanoi, especially if I go to the tourist areas, then there's always going to be people coming up to me looking to inquire for a sale or a purchase, or they're trying to hustle. Whereas in, for example, Da Nang, it's a city built with the expectation that they're trying to have foreign people live and work there.
Yeah.
So there's none of that culture of there's Vietnamese trying to make a quick dollar or anything like that. There's a local expat communities there. And the infrastructure is great. It's a lot cheaper than Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh. So quality of life, there's no nightlife, or not. I don't want to say no nightlife. It's not as much of a nightlife compared to Hanoi or Ho Chi Minh, but everything is efficient. It's good for someone who wants to be productive and who wants to enjoy a beach, and it's a lot cheaper than.
Which is the most expensive, then Hanoi or Saigon?
I would say. It all depends, right?
Okay.
But they're on par. If you're in an expensive area, if you're by the west, if you're by the old quarter in Hanoi, that's going to be much more expensive than if you're 10 kilometers out in Ho Chi Minh, right? It's all relative. So, but both places are definitely more expensive though than Da Nang. Yeah.
Interesting.
Unless you have a beachfront property, good luck in Da Nang.
So where did you go after that then? Because this is your second time here. We'll get to that in a minute. So where did you go after?
Great question. So I had met when my friend in Butuan suggested I go to Vietnam. By that point, I had met a few other foreigners that had been to Vietnam already, but it seems like a lot of, I don't want to say even that, the handful of expats that I met that had been to Vietnam that were living in the Philippines, they had started with Ho Chi Minh, but I did the opposite. I started in the north and I traveled south. So I started in Hanoi, then I went to Da Nang, then I went to Ho Chi Minh, so a month. And then, being in this Indochina area, it's all connected by land. So I went to the bus station and all right, take a bus to Cambodia. So I just got on, after my month was over in Ho Chi Minh City, I went over to Phnom Penh, Cambodia for the first time. So
how did Cambodia compare to Vietnam?
Wow. And the Philippines. Okay, so I would say there's no place like the Philippines.
There is no place.
There
is no place like the Philippines.
So, in many aspects, at least me as being a foreigner, the experience I got in Cambodia and in Vietnam was much more similar than the experience of me being a foreigner in the Philippines. But it was great. I enjoyed Cambodia. I got to learn about their history, their recent dark history, but also some of their more ancient history with the Khmer Empire temples and all that kind of stuff too. So I got to visit Phnom Penh and Siem Reap. Beautiful cities, beautiful country, and I will say Cambodia is a little rougher on the edges, but considering their history, they can only go up. So, and I can see that their people are working hard to build a future that they can be proud of. So, yeah, as a tourist, I enjoyed my time. The beer was cheap. The people were lovely, friendly, and I really enjoyed myself there. I was only there for 1 month, but it was really enjoyable.
Is it Phnom Penh?
Yeah, Phnom Penh and Siem Reap. So I spent around 2 weeks in Phnom Penh and around 2 weeks in Siem Reap.
Okay.
During that time.
Where did you go next then?
Well, after that, headed over to the next country, which was supposed to be my second country, but I had pivoted plans. So I had eventually decided to go to Thailand. So by that point, how many months am I in my journey? So 6 plus 3, okay, 9, 10 for Cambodia. So I'm about to hit Thailand, and in the end I do stay there for 2 months, but I basically only stay in Bangkok, and I did go to one province, Chayapum, and I think that's in the Isan area, but I didn't go to like Phuket or Pattaya or anywhere else. I just basically Bangkok and that one weekend trip to Chayapum. So yeah, that was an experience too, and at least just based on my impressions of Bangkok, I understand why a lot of Western, or just a lot of people in general, love Bangkok. It is like a first-class city in Southeast Asia. As far as infrastructure goes, they got everything. You can live a high baller luxury lifestyle, or you can live a budget lifestyle. Like, that range is there, and the conveniences are there. And yeah, as far as service goes, like, if whatever you want, you can find it in Bangkok. So I can understand why it's such a popular place for expats and other, in general, foreigners wanting to go there for a holiday.
But it wasn't for you.
Yeah, you're right. That's exactly right. There's just some, I'm a person that goes off of my instinct, and I understand why it is popular, but I think I'm a weird guy. So for some reason, I wasn't charmed by Bangkok. I could stay there and be happy, but
fair enough, but it wasn't for you.
Yeah, it just wasn't for me. So, hey.
So where did you go after that?
So I think by that point, after spending another, sorry, I'm getting distracted by the dog. After spending those 2 months in Bangkok, I decided, you know what? I'm about to turn 30, so this is right before my 30th birthday in February. So I said, where do I want to spend my birthday? It's more fun in the Philippines.
Yeah.
So I decided to come back to the Philippines once more just to give it another try. And by that point, once you leave, it resets. Resets the visa, so I don't have to think about exit clearance for another 6 months. And what's quite interesting, just a side tangent, I came to the Philippines single and I left single too. So I'm thinking, I didn't find it. Yeah, it takes a few hacks. But I decided, let me go spend my 30th, and I had a good time. In Cebu, I went back to Cebu, which was, Cebu was popped my cherry for Southeast Asia. That was my first place where I got to visit outside of the U.S. For myself. So I spent another month in Cebu, and I went to another place just to check it out. I spent a month in Iloilo. So by that point, I had visited a handful of cities and islands in the Philippines, but yeah, after 2 months, I left the Philippines again.
Where did you go this time? I already know these answers.
Yeah.
Why is he asking me this? But you guys are watching, you don't know.
Right. So, man, it's crazy how this year has flown by. But yeah, so by the end of April of this year, that's basically when my month is expiring in Iloilo. And by that point, wonderfully, Cebu Pacific has started direct flights between Iloilo and Bangkok. Okay? But I had made a decision in my head that I want to, me working remotely, it gets tiring traveling, packing up every month or so. So I'm thinking to myself, during the summer, I need to focus a little bit more on work and just sit in one place for a while. So I said I need to sit in one place for 6 months. So out of all the places that I went to, where do I want to go? I decided, okay, I really enjoyed Siem Reap, Cambodia. Let me enjoy the rain season in Siem Reap for those 6 months. I'll sit down, work a little bit online. and I can enjoy just being around the temples and the countryside for a little bit.
Why was it Siem Reap then? I mean, I like Siem Reap, I used to live there.
Yeah.
But why? What was it about? I mean, because you've been to so many different places.
Yeah.
Was it an easy decision, or were you tempted to?
You know, I think it's just, you know, it all depends what a person is looking for. But for me, I think it's just me being a remote worker. I just needed a place to sit down, focus, not be distracted, and have a somewhat, you know, I'm interested in a little bit of like histories, temples, calm feeling, something like that. Like let's say, like if I were to go back to the Philippines, I don't think I could like live in Cebu City again. Like if I were to like sit down in one place for 6 months, like I would rather be at a beach, being a digital nomad, where it's like, okay, I know I have to sit down at my computer 8 hours a day, but during those time when I'm not at the computer, like I want to enjoy being outside the house.
Yeah.
And so being in Siem Reap, there was the temples, there was like Phnom Penh is like the financial capital where there all the business and hustle and bustle, but there's not that hustle and bustle in Siem Reap at nighttime.
So it's very laid back.
Yeah, it's more chill, more laid back, and that's what I like. I like the coffee shops and that's the vibe that I like. So something about Siem Reap really, attracted me. So, and there's just enough conveniences there where I could work with it. For some reason at that time, Da Nang wasn't of interest to me, even though I enjoyed my time there. I don't know. I just had this feeling like go back to Siem Reap, go see more temples again. So that's what I did. I went back to Siem Reap, got an apartment, and stayed there for 6 months, between basically April, May through November, which is last month.
And how did the infrastructure compare there? Because I've heard it's improved a lot, but you were saying you still had brownouts there.
Yeah. So I guess compared to your time, it has improved, but there would be like a brownout. Maybe it would be like once a month. And it would last maybe 3, 4, 5 hours, and then things would be back on. I did experience internet outages, but I don't know if that was just specific to my apartment or whether it was like the whole area. But definitely there was like a power brownout, but it would be like once a month, and it would be like...
So it's still a bit behind Thailand and Vietnam.
For sure. I can say in the 3 months that 3 months last year, and I guess this 1 month here that I've been in Vietnam, I've never experienced a single brownout. And in the 2 months in Thailand, I've never experienced a single brownout. So it's just, these are points of comparison, right? I did experience a handful of brownouts in the Philippines across the different places that I went. But yeah, it was just it was about once a month in Cambodia and specifically in Siem Reap. I never experienced that in Phnom Penh.
And after 6 months in Siem Reap, do you still have the same love for the place, or did it kind of, you think you've got out your system now? Is it still somewhere you could see yourself going back to?
I think it is a lovely, charming city with a lot of ancient history. And I enjoyed my time there at the time during those 6 months, but I don't think I would go back at this stage in my life as a 30-year-old guy who's single and childless. I think I got it out of the system. I wanted to chill out for a bit, but there just wasn't enough stimulation for me there. So I got a little bored of it after the 6 months, and I just felt like I needed something else. I could see myself going back there in the future. For example, if I had a partner, whether it was a local Cambodian or a foreigner, but I don't think I would go back there as a single guy just to stay longer term. That's just my thoughts. If I'm going to be single, and if I'm not going to focus on work for a couple months, might as well stay in another place, a bigger city, something like that.
So after we're basically up to date now, aren't we? We're where you are now. We're in I can call it Saigon. I was calling it Ho Chi Minh, so I'll call it Saigon. It's less of a mouthful. We're in Saigon now, and you've been here a month.
Yeah.
But you're moving to Da Nang tomorrow, day after tomorrow.
Yeah, so tomorrow's my last full day of relaxation, and then after that I'm getting on a bus and I'm headed to Da Nang, where I plan to stay for a few months. As we enter 2026, it's going to be a busy season a little bit for my work, so once again I'm thinking to myself, I need to find a place to sit down for a little while and just focus on work while enjoying some amenities. So my plan is to stay in Da Nang at least for a few months, maybe even up to half a year in Da Nang. So on Saturday I'll be out of here and headed there. But what happens after that, I have no idea. Well, if the wind blows that way, that's where I'm going. So
that is the attitude to have. That is the attitude to have, I think, anyway.
So I enjoyed my time in Da Nang last year. I only stayed 1 month, but you know, it's one of these things sometimes where you travel a place, maybe the appreciation for the place doesn't happen until after you leave.
Yeah,
so
100%.
So maybe that's what brought me back to the Philippines that second time. And who knows when the third time is going to be. It might be sooner than we think. Maybe after Da Nang I'm headed back to the Philippines. I have no idea. I really don't know, but I think going to Da Nang, something's called me back there. So that's what I'm going to be doing starting 2026, just focusing on work with the other nomads over there and exercising on the beach a little bit because I've been gaining too much weight.
Do you interact much with the nomads? Is there a community there, or do you kind of do your own thing?
I did meet a couple other like decent, like I try to find quality guys to like hang out with, and there's some semi-decent digital nomad, you could even say, scene in Da Nang that are like, you know, late 20s, 30s, early 40s that are, you know, hustle mindset. They're trying to work, make money. They're not like retired. They're definitely trying to work and, you know, still in that stage of life. So I did meet a few guys, and what's nice, you know, about Da Nang is it's somewhat international. Like I do meet I've met a lot of Russians, Polish, Koreans. I've met other Americans, Australians, Brits too. So it is kind of semi-international. And I think, you know, when you see, I think one thing I've noticed is generally whenever I see construction, I take that as a sign of optimism and hope. Like they're building more for their future. So there's a lot of construction because they're building up new condo buildings and whatnot. But I'm thinking, wow, it's a good thing. Like they're building more housing and units, and they're building more for their future, trying to grow more, which is a wonderful thing.
Because I noticed in Chiang Mai, I've seen a few vlogs recently, and there seems to be a lot of networking going on, a lot of shared work cafes, and people get together and they perform. They're really interacting. I was wondering if it was the same in the Philippines, like that kind of thing. That's not the Philippines, sorry, Vietnam. It's not the same. It's not quite as advanced then in terms of the network groups I'm talking about.
I haven't been to the north of Thailand yet, so I would love to go check out the scene over there. But at least from what I experienced in that 1 month in Da Nang, I did meet some quality guys, and just seeing the digital nomads there from other countries, other nationalities, like it was a nice feeling for me. So I said, I think I could be productive in that area, in that arena.
I get the feeling you could be productive anywhere.
I try, but I got distracted in the Philippines.
So if you had to take the work equation out of it, because obviously you need to be somewhere where you're not distracted, where you've got work, it means a big difference in infrastructure and things.
Yeah.
Once you've knocked it all on the head, once you're retiring, enjoying the benefits of your billions of Bitcoin and all the rest of that stuff, because I know you're into the cryptocurrency.
I'm trying, yeah.
Which would be your favourite country if you had to pick one to settle down? That you've been to in Southeast Asia?
I'll take that question as, if money were no obligation, where would you be? I think in some aspects, it's a toss-up between, for me, it's a toss-up between either Vietnam or the Philippines. For me, Vietnam or the Philippines. And I'll say why. I didn't get to, here's what I will say, because everyone has a different preference for what is it that they actually want and enjoy. And I don't know if it's just me being a younger guy or whatnot, but infrastructure is something that is of importance to me. Like, I'm picking Wi-Fi over a Filipino in a sense. Like, I do need decent infrastructure and decent quality of life, overall food and coffee shops, and like, these are things that I do value, just being very blunt and honest. But I didn't get to experience, like, for example, a Makati lifestyle or a BGC lifestyle, or which would have those conveniences, but my budget's not there yet. And I'm being very honest about it. But it will be there in the future. So if money were no equation, I'll just like ball out in the Philippines. Right. Otherwise, I think Vietnam also provides exceptional value. Like, I'm very happy with my digital nomad lifestyle that I'm having now here in Vietnam. But if money were no option, oh man, I think I would just get lost in the sauce and enjoy Vietnam to a higher level. Like, because I will say this, even locals here in Vietnam will tell me like, yeah, if you want to enjoy, have fun, go to Ho Chi Minh. But if you want a wife, they said go to the north, go to Hanoi, something like that.
Is that
so
right?
yeah, that's very much what they're saying. They're saying the temperament and the tradition is very much alive and well there. And I mean, I will just say, Vietnam, my goodness, my jaw just drops to the floor sometimes, especially when I went to Hanoi. Beautiful. So yeah, I don't know. I think wherever you go, there you are. Who knows where life will take me in the future, but I don't know. I'm torn between these two countries.
Torn between the Philippines and Vietnam.
Yeah.
So Thailand's not for you, with Cambodia.
Cambodia, you know, I'm cheering Cambodia on. I'm rooting for them, and I do hope the best for them. But they have a long way to go, so I will cheer them on from a distance. So yeah.
Well, we're cheering you on, Adam.
Ah, thank you.
And thanks so much for sitting down. It's very interesting because you really have got a perspective. Of three of the countries we talk a lot about.
Yeah.
Four of the countries we talk a lot about.
And more to come in the future too. I love travel. It's changed me so much as a person, so I'm looking forward to more travels in the future.
Well, I was about, but there's a thing then. So I mean, you're playing it right here at the moment. You know, you're going to go to the land maybe for the next 4 or 5 months or whatever. Obviously, you're going to take it as it comes. But what do you think? Do you think you would go back to the States for a bit, or do you think you're going to keep travelling around Southeast Asia?
That's a great question. I'll never say never. I could go back. I don't have a reason to go back right away right now. For example, one of my debit cards got expired as I was in Siem Reap.
Yeah.
But because I'm smart, I did all the preparations with the mail forwarding and setting up my this and that. So I just called my bank and I said, hey, send me a new debit card. They sent it to the mail forwarding. The mail forwarding mailed it to Cambodia, which only cost me $5 to mail from the US.
How long did it take?
It took a month. But yeah, so it's like, if I need anything, I can get it done. If my passport, I still have like another 4 or 5 years on it. So I don't know, we'll see. As far as travel goes, I still want to check out more of Southeast Asia. So I still haven't checked out Indonesia, just to check out Bali, just to get it off the list. Kuala Lumpur, I would love to check out. Malaysia. I would even love to visit, if my income allows me, eventually East Asia, so Japan, Korea, China, I would love to see in the future.
I've got a feeling you're going places.
Yeah,
in both senses.
I hope so.
Well, thanks for sitting down with us, mate.
Yeah, pleasure.
It was wonderful to meet you, it really was. We've had a couple of coffees this week, and yeah, can't get enough of these egg coffees. They are delicious.
Absolutely. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, thanks for sitting down with us, mate. I know.
My pleasure.
A lot of people are going to find your story interesting. I certainly did. And yeah, best of luck for the future, mate.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
And I hope you make it back to the Philippines at some stage so we can see you again.
Yeah.
Anyway, hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, smash the like button. If you haven't subscribed, it would be fantastic if you did. And whether you do, whether you don't, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, stay safe and be lucky.